And welcome back to WealthWise. It's Jordan Kimmel, your host. We're on with Mark Grant. He's the Chief Global Strategist for Colliers Securities, a big group in real estate down in Florida. But your role there is helping clients, both individuals and institutions, generate income. So let me just couch this before you jump right into it. There were years, and Mark, you've been in this business a long time. We
Oh,
actually saw
long time.
negative interest rates a couple of years ago. People were actually paying Europe's banks 2% to hold their money. It's almost disbelief that that happened. But you've been able to generate income for clients when interest rates were 5, 0, and now 5 again. And I want to get into your strategy right now. Not that you walk on water, not that everything works out perfectly, but again, I couch this with your own words. You've always been more interested in return of the money than the return on the money. And so get right into what you do to help clients.
Okay, in the first place, let me separate this out for you. With the institutions, I basically do bond business with them. It's with the people that I use an income strategy. And the income strategy is, I'll make it simple. I spend 3 hours every Saturday going through these funds. I use closed-end funds and REITs and some other funds currently, today. I'm not talking about yesterday. No guarantees about tomorrow, but all the funds I'm using are paying over 10%, some as high as over 15%, and they all pay monthly. Every fund I'm using is paying monthly. And one of the interesting things about it is, where's the money coming from? Where is the income coming from? So I use funds that use CLOs, bonds, floating rate bonds, mortgages, loans, and I go through and make sure that they're as safe as they can be, these particular funds. And every month, people get money, every single month. Now, it's possible, like with any other stock, that the fund cuts the dividend, raises the dividend, pays an annual year-end dividend, and that's just up to the board of directors of the fund. But every month people get money, and then I call them and say, you have so much money, cash money, in your account. And maybe that month they're buying a new dishwasher or a car, and they say, send us the money. Send them the money. Send us half the money, or please reinvest all the money for us. And I should point out a couple things here. One, dividends are either taxed at 15 or 20%. So even if you're in a very high tax bracket, say the highest with the Obamacare at over 40%, the dividends are only getting taxed at 15 to 20%. So that's a huge help. Number two, the dividends are there every month to, as I said, utilize either for, living your life or to reinvest. And I also want to point out that the dividends are based on the principal value, not the liquidating value. So even if the market is down and you're underwater on some of these funds, the dividend is based upon the principal value. So if the principal value keeps going up, then the next month you get even more money, as long as nobody changes the dividend.
Well, it's a tremendous amount of research that has to go in to see the coverage, to see the
Yes.
balance sheets. And the good news is that people can rely on you to spend those 3 hours on Saturdays and put your name and your reputation behind it. And Mark, as always with our show, we have to say we're neither supporting, endorsing, recommending. I do know your track record for many, many years of just not walking on water, but paying strong income to people that are looking for income. And it's a niche. It's something that people need, frankly. And the older you get, the more income, more of your portfolio should be less growth oriented and more protection of principal and
That's
more
correct.
income. And I know that you've always, in every conversation we've had, it's always been a matter of suitability, and it's a matter of deep diligence, and not just you going off a company sell sheet and deciding what their analysts like or don't like. This is you putting your name, your reputation, and a very large firm trusting you to do that research. I know you've had a great and a long career, and we don't know what rates are going to do tomorrow. We don't know who the administration will be, but we do know that an emphasis on balance sheets. I know you like to buy these closed-end funds at discounts. Price means a lot to you. Is there anything, Mark, that we kind of left out that you'd want to add?
Well, a couple things. One, I would say to your viewers, if they need some help, they can get a hold of me and I'll discuss it with them at mark.grant@colliers.com. I just want to say that because I do enjoy helping people. But yes, I look at the NAV, and whether it's a discount or premium to the NAV, which is net asset value. I look at the yield. I look at the coverage. I look at their history of the fund. I use some REITs I like. But I go through, I probably cover and do the analytical work on 60 or 70 funds and REITs. And, what I'm trying to do is to help people. It isn't charity, I make a something, but I do feel really good, especially at this point in my life, about being able to help some people. I can tell you a small story. A woman called, her husband was a veteran, and he had passed away. She was scared to death. And I told her, I said, I'm on the board of Wounded Warriors. And she said, that's all I need to hear. I don't need anything else. I said, I'm chairman of the investment committee for Wounded Warriors. She said, who do I call to open the account? But I really felt good, not just that, making some money. I feel good that I'm able to really help some people that need some help. Because a lot of people don't understand, as you know, the investment world as well as somebody like you.
Well, Mark, and let me just say that a lot of the knowledge you have, you weren't born with. It's experience, it's accumulated experience, and that's what people get, when they work with you. And so I know that I do receive your note. You share notes of other prominent people that are following the bond market, and you've shared your email. So if they want to subscribe, they gotta send you a quick email.
There's no
You'll approve their email.
There's no subscription fee. If somebody's a client of mine, whether it's an institution or a person, they get my commentary, which I send out 3 or 4 times a week, which is what I think is going on in both the bond markets and the fund markets. I do not concentrate on single equities.
Right.
There are 400 guys on some financial network saying, buy this stock. I don't do that. What I've tried to do is something different, which is especially for older people, is to provide income. Here's money to live your life and have a nice life on.
Right. And Mark, from reading your notes over time, I know that not only is it important with you what you do, it's how you do it, it's how you carry yourself, and it's a matter of a long time building up a reputation that you've done. And when I went to our team and I said we need someone to talk about income market, I immediately thought of you, Mark. And I'm glad you took the time to join us. Before we wrap up, nice and loud, one more time, where do they send an email if they want to get on your complimentary list?
Mark.grant@Colliers.com. Or they could call Colliers and ask to speak to me. Also, I will tell you, I do not take everybody that wants my help. I speak to them. I see if they sound like a nice person, a real person. There have been a number of people that seemed like they weren't the kind of, I won't use any bad words here, but they weren't the kind of person that I wanted to help. And I said, no, you need to find somebody else.
Living life on your own terms, that's the way to be. It's Mark Grant. He's the Chief Global Strategist for Collier. Mark, thanks so much for joining us today. And I will tell you, every time I see in my inbox with a note from you, I love reading it. Thanks for your thoughts and your time today.
Thank you, sir.
All righty. It's Jordan Kimmel from WealthWise signing off. We'll see you next episode, and a big thanks to Mark Grant again for joining us. We'll see you soon.